these mistakes will affect your cruise and your overall experience.
Now, if you've cruised before, some of these might seem obvious, but we see people make these mistakes all the time, and it's important to know how to avoid them.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about our 5 biggest mistakes so you don't make them too. Welcome to episode 3 of the ShipTalking podcast with Ryan and Kayla. Today, we're talking about our 5 biggest mistakes that we made while cruising, and these weren't just small mistakes like forgetting to pack something. These were big mistakes that cost us either money or really affected our cruise vacation. So we're going to dive right into that. Kayla, you got any idea what these are?
I have a few ideas.
I mapped them out, so we'll see if you agree with them.
I have a few ideas. I can think of a few things we've done where I'm like, man, either that was close or, man, I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah. Now, these are in no particular order, but the first mistake I put down was the most notable one.
Missing the ship.
And that is missing your timing back to the ship. Mm-hmm. Now, if this has ever happened to you, it is the most nerve-wracking, stressful experience because your whole vacation is on the line. Mm-hmm. And this happened to us when we were on the Oasis of the Seas, and we had left out of New York, and one of our stops was at Orlando, which we had never done as a port before. We've always embarked out of Orlando, but we've never done it as a daily visit.
No.
So we're like, what can we do in Orlando? Let's go to Disney.
Well, and then a bright idea of mine was, let's go to Animal Kingdom because I've never been there. It'll be so fun.
Yeah. So our time in port was 12 to 6 p.m., which is already not a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And we took a shuttle over to Disney, which we booked through the cruise line, thank God. Mm-hmm. And that took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half or so, just with the boarding and actually getting there. And then once we got to Disney, and we had no idea, this will come in the lessons learned, but we had no idea. But once you get to Disney, Animal Kingdom takes an hour to get there.
It brings you to Magic Kingdom, and then you have to transport from there. And the park is not next door. It was a 20 or 30 minute bus ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we took a bus, a tram, a boat.
I swear. We took every mode of transportation to get there. So by the time we got there,
we had an hour and a half?
An hour and a half. And then we had to buy the speed pass and the genie. And I think we ended up spending double just to be able to do a few things.
Yeah, we're fast pass and genie on every single ride.
And the only reason we did that was because I talked to somebody on the bus on the way there, and they were like, oh my God, you're going to Animal Kingdom? Are you insane? You're not gonna have any time. Get the genie, get the fast pass. So here I am on my phone, serial ordering genies and fast passes.
So fast forward, we do a couple of the Avatar ones, which were amazing. But heading out, we needed to run a little bit.
Yeah. So we were waiting on this tram, and the tram was going to take us back to the area where we met our bus that we booked through the cruise line. And we're standing on this tram for 20 minutes. It's not leaving. And normally they leave every few minutes. And this was packed. It was sweaty. I'm getting nervous. And then I asked one of the people that was working there, I was like, what is happening? He's like, the tram's not working right now. We're trying to fix it. So immediately I start panicking. So then I make Ryan literally jump over top of the entrance to the tram. And I'm like, okay, let's go get an Uber. So I'm trying to get an Uber to meet us. I can't get an Uber to come fast enough. So then I see there's a ferry. So then we'd get on this ferry. We're running, sprinting through Disney. People are like, stop running. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm going to miss my cruise. So we're running through Disney. We get on this ferry, and I'm just sweating. I'm starting to tear up because I'm starting to get stressed because this ferry's not leaving.
And hang on. This is where Kayla saved the day at the same time.
Biggest tip I can ever give anybody. So when we booked this excursion through the cruise line, on the back of a piece of paper, it had an emergency number on it. And if something happened, you're supposed to call this emergency number. And I all of a sudden was about to cry. And I was like, wait, there's a number on this piece of paper, or this ticket that they gave us. So I flip it over, turn on my data, on my phone, call this person. I'm like, we are stuck on this stupid boat and we can't get to you. We're running behind, but don't leave without us. So they called our bus driver and they said, hey, this person called us, the tram had broken down. They're stuck. Can you wait a few minutes? So then they called me back and they're like, the bus driver's going to wait for 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, come on, ferry, let's go. So my heart is racing. I'm freaking out. The ferry finally leaves. We get off this ferry and we're booking it. People are yelling at us to stop running. We're actively not listening. I get a cramp and I'm like, Ryan, go on without me.
Yeah, she's like, go without me. I was like, all right. No, I was like,
just go keep them there.
I knew that I could, run faster. Mm-hmm. So I went
I'm
ahead.
not a runner, guys.
And I just let them know that we were there. My wife will be like a couple minutes behind.
Oh my God. I've never, I don't run unless my life is in danger or apparently I'm about to miss a cruise ship. So I was panting, sweating, I had a stitch. Oh my God, it was not a cute look when I pulled up to that bus.
In preparation for the episode, I was going through the footage and it's so stressful watching it.
Oh my God. And we probably only showed a little highlights, but the
times I remember to turn on the camera.
In between my almost crying, but we kept our cool. I was pretty impressed with us because as much as I was freaking out internally and about to cry because I was like, holy crap, we might actually miss this cruise ship. They did wait for us, so that was huge, and that is the perk of kind of traveling with the cruise line.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those weird scenarios where the transportation was with the cruise line, but they weren't gonna wait because it's not an excursion with the cruise line. It was something weird like that.
There was a lot of people on that bus.
I remember they were gonna leave. They said if you miss the timing, we're gonna leave. It's not like you have the Royal Caribbean staff with you on an excursion. It was a little bit different than doing a normal one.
They did wait for us, and we weren't actually late to get back on the ship. We were just cutting it extremely close to all aboard. I think we were.
Well, I think we showed up after the all aboard.
I think we showed up at all aboard. So I think because we were all walking, this whole bus empties, right?
Either way,
we're walking onto the cruise ship, and they're like, "Okay, let's go." So
either way, it was the most stressed I'd ever been. But
so scary.
I would say, looking back on it, I'm glad that we were in Orlando.
Thank God.
So it wasn't anywhere really that would have been absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was the first time. The second two times we'll just glance over, but it was Aruba. Mm-hmm. We hit the all aboard timing, and that was just because it was our birthdays. We were on the beach.
Having way too much fun.
A little too much to drink.
I lost my phone.
Yeah, no real story there other than that we were kind of being stupid and having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Santorini one, actually we caught the last ferry back to the ship because the line for the tram on the way down
was
at
still
the end
long.
of the night was so long. Mm-hmm. And we had to take, if you've ever been to Santorini, you can do the tram or take the stairs on the way down. So we had to go down the stairs, which is covered in crap.
We were the only ship there, so I think as long as there are people in line for that tram, they're gonna keep those going. They're not just gonna leave you standing there when there's a line. They know that's what you're doing. So I was less worried about that one because there was more ferries and more people behind us, but we were nervous about missing it, so we didn't wait in line for the tram. We took the donkey crap stairs, and that was the worst. I cannot recommend that any less. It was a 0 out of 10. There was pee and poo all over the stairs. It smelled god awful, and those stairs are steep.
My knees were really sore from going down the stairs.
I'd rather go up, I think.
Yeah.
But it was brutal. The only thing we had working for us was that it was nighttime and it wasn't the sun beating down on us.
Yeah.
But it was, it's miserable when you're stressed. I think my biggest tip for anybody is make sure you give yourself enough time so that you're not stressed, because it really just ruins your whole day. Mm-hmm. You could have the best day and then you spend the last 15 or 20 minutes panicking and you're, almost in tears, and then it ruins your whole experience. So
yeah. So the best way to avoid that, I think, is doing your research beforehand. Talking about the Disney one, we clearly didn't do enough research. We just thought it'd be a good idea on a whim. So YouTube is obviously really good for that. Watch videos of people doing it before. Research online.
From our mistakes.
Yeah.
The Aruba one was it wasn't as stressful. We had, like you said, it was our birthdays and we had a lot to drink, so we were feeling pretty great.
I don't think we were very far too, maybe 30-minute max.
We were pretty close. Now the thing that stopped us was we were a group of 6 and we did not estimate how long it would take us to get an Uber XL in Aruba for us, and it ended up taking a lot longer. We had to squeeze into a smaller car. It was a little, adventures of Ryan and Kayla and friends. And then oh, God bless Jared, who lost his C-Pass on the way. I don't know where we lost it. Anyways, so it was just one of those things where he was like, I guess I'm going to live in Aruba. I was like, no, we'll get you another one. Yeah. But it was just one of those comical ones where I don't think we were as stressed as Disney. I've never been that stressed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on to the second mistake. So this one, now some of you guys are going to be like, okay, get a grip, Brian. Like, this doesn't necessarily happen to me, but it does happen to a lot of people. I see it all the time. That is number 2 is drinking too much.
Mm-hmm. Well, hence the Aruba story.
Yeah.
It does happen.
I mean this from like drinking too much. Sure, you're having fun. You're having a good time. But then maybe that leads to a fight, being sick, ruining your whole next day.
Mm-hmm. You've experienced that a few times.
I've been, I'm confessing a little bit here. I'een sick a couple times.
Ryan's been better since we started vlogging because
probably
we have
since we started vlogging, I have
a job to do.
Yeah, exactly. But before that, it was like a day one guarantee that I would be sick because I was the problem is I get on the ship. I'm so excited. And I want to try all the new drinks right now. Mm-hmm. So that's my problem.
Yep.
And and a lot of you are thinking, just have some self-control, okay? But I'm not alone here. I see a lot of people obviously having way too much to drink, especially on day one.
Especially in the pool when you don't notice how hot it is. You're so dehydrated. You're going hard all day. And then all of a sudden it's like puking rally.
Yeah. I think, and I wasn't sick since we vlogged, as I said, but I think on the Carnival Jubilee, I'd hit my 15 Carnival drink max and it was 7:30. We were waiting for dinner. Mm-hmm. And I just thought to myself...
And you were still standing and coherent. I was kind of shocked.
But, yeah, so I guess the tips to avoid that would be, what do you think?
I mean, I would suggest for every drink that you're having, maybe sprinkle in some water. Mm-hmm. I'm really bad at doing that too.
Well, now I have like a 1 drink, 1 water policy. Like I drink an absolute boatload of water when I'm cruising.
I feel like you learned this lesson the hard way on Carnival because you had too much fun. And there was one, like, exposing Ryan here a little, but there was one day when we were at dinner and you were like so hammered that we couldn't even include it. Yeah. So
oh my God, I watched we still vlogged it, but I watched the video after and you couldn't even understand what I was saying. And it was so embarrassing to watch. So you don't need to shame me for it. I already feel the shame.
But we've learned from it, right? So you gotta just keep your wits about you too, right? And like you said too, so when we were on Majesty of the Seas a long time ago, way before vlogging, we met some younger people. We were hanging out with them. We were having a great time. We were playing cards and someone came over and like completely started a fight like out of nowhere. And Ryan and I were like, we're not interested. We're too don't want to be involved in a fight. But it's like the smallest thing can set something off. And if you're not in control, like things can get out of hand really quick. So
yeah, other tips I would have is just recognizing that it's day one, you're going to be the most excited. So like I like to say, sprinkle in some mocktails. If you want to try a drink but you don't necessarily need the alcohol, you can just get a mocktail, especially if you have the drink package. Won't cost you anything.
Or explore some of the non-alcoholic drinks. Like they've got smoothies, they got juices, they got coffees, lattes, like all these other like Red Bulls and stuff like that. And so sprinkle in some of those other beverages. I
like to go with the pace of like 1 an hour. And I usually find for me personally, that is a good amount just to have a good time. But, you guys know yourselves best. Just find whatever ratio that is and kind of stick to it. And like I said, it just comes down to self-control. But I think if you have a plan beforehand, it's a little easier to do that.
I try to mix it in with like my drink itself. So like in the mornings, not in the morning, but like the first drink of my day at the pool, I'll try to do something like a pineapple juice with vodka and club soda. So it's like I'm getting a little juice, getting a little water, and then, kind of comes out in the wash. Now, this is the worst part of like doing YouTube for me anyways. It's like kind of cringe and I hate it, but we have to do it because it's for the channel. So we invite you, if you're liking this video or you've liked any of our videos or you like cruising, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you're super Ryan and Kayla fans, feel free to hit join and become one of our members who we love and cherish so much.
Okay, that brings us to our third mistake. This one almost cost us big. One of the biggest. And it wasn't too much in our control, but it's something I want to bring to your attention because you can plan around it, especially if you live... I would say if you live up north or if you have any sort of snowy winter.
If you're relying on a flight, I think this really applies to you. If you're driving, it's less of a issue.
And the mistake is flying in too close to the cruise. Now, you see this one a lot.
Yeah. We've experienced this 3 times,
3 times. So why don't you tell us about the most prominent one that I know we're both thinking about?
Oh, God. Well, there's 2 that really stick out in my head. One was pre-vlogging. We did Jewel of the Seas with our parents. It was the first time my parents were like really hanging out and vacationing together. It was February. It's of course in Canada, freezing rain. It's minus 30 degrees. It's insane. And Philadelphia was, I think we were going Philly to Puerto Rico. And they got like the smallest little dusting of snow. Like when we actually got to Philadelphia, I was like, where's the snow?
In our opinion, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, I was like, this is a gorgeous day. Where's the snow? I didn't see a single thing. It was like a slight little dusting. It's like someone took a little bit of icing sugar and just...
What they did was they emailed us the morning of our flight, and they said, your flight has been canceled. Like not even delayed, just flat out canceled. So here we are.
Ryan's laying on the ground.
I'd given up. I'd laid on the ground. I was like, we're not going. It's like, what are we going to do?
I'm not like that. Like I'm an executive assistant by trade, and there's always a way. So me, my mom, Donna, we're on the phone. My mom's on the phone with a travel agent, which is probably a lesson. As my mom booked with a travel agent, we just booked ourselves. So my mom's travel agent, Lisa, shout out to her, saved our lives because she called us and was like, get to the airport and just be there, because you can get on as long as you're physically there, you'll get on a flight. Just go to the airport. So we peel Ryan off the floor and we go to the airport and we get on a flight. I don't even remember how it happened. I think it was
like when it popped up and they're just like, be there now.
And so we were like, that flight, we want to be on that flight. And so we got on that flight. And I remember when we landed in Philadelphia, I was like,
popping bottles of champagne.
That was when we landed in Puerto Rico. No, when we landed in Philly, I was just like, WTF, like there's no snow. But I remember, not everyone's like Canada. They're not used to this much snow. So a little bit of snow really freaks people out. So once we landed in Puerto Rico, we were so freaking happy. I think we were just sitting outside and like, guys, 12 hours ago, we were all friggin' depressed because we thought we just missed out on our vacation. Yeah. It was a dark morning, which ended up being fine.
Yeah.
And
crazy ride of emotions that day.
Yeah. And thankfully we flew in like 2 days early because we had the 1 day in Puerto Rico.
It was initially going to be 2 days early, but it ended up just being like one day early. and that's like part of my tip here is because sometimes 1 day early isn't enough. So what I'd like to try to aim for is like the morning of the day before. Take the first flight out.
Because if you get cancellations or delays, like...
You have options. If you're taking like the night before, you may not have an option. Maybe you have the morning of, but maybe like there's a train of delays and cancellations or something. So that was probably one of my biggest things is always the day before and try to get in the morning the day before. Obviously, if you're going somewhere far like the Mediterranean, we like to do 2 days.
Because it's nice to have that extra day just to explore the port before you get on.
The other time that I was going to bring up was on the Carnival celebration. We actually, ours was, I think our fully flight canceled. Was in the evening.
No, it was in the morning.
Fully canceled.
7 a.m. we got to that airport. Delay.
Oh, we didn't fly out till the evening.
Then cancel. So then Ryan again, like basically laying on the floor of the airport.
Too easily.
You give up so easily.
I was walking out, and Kayla's like, "No." She gets on the phone.
Yeah. No.
She's like, "Put me in the state," is what she said.
I said, "Put me in the United States.
No,
I will drive."
No, like in the state of Florida.
I even said Virginia. I was like, "I don't care. Get me somewhere. I will rent a car and I will drive." So I was talking to the girl in WestJet, and I was like, "Look, I've spent all this money on this cruise. Ryan got the drink package. Like, we're not losing this money. It's not an option." So I was like, get me somewhere into the continental US and I will drive. And so she was like, I have an 8 p.m. flight direct from Ottawa to Orlando. I was like, done. We need to get to Miami. So as we're waiting all friggin' day in this airport, we got there at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're waiting all day. I'm on booking a rental car at Orlando airport, returning at Miami airport. So there was, I think, one more delay in that flight, but we ended up getting there at like midnight.
And then doing a 3
hour drive.
Remember, I think it was like 3 hours, right? We got there at like 1 a.m. maybe.
It was pouring rain.
Yeah.
I had never been so happy to be there. I was like, the world tried to stop us and we were like, not today, Satan. I was like, I'm getting on this damn boat, like, no matter what I do. It was so cold in Canada too, like,
and I don't like driving as a Canadian. I don't like driving in the United States. You may feel
I don't know where we're going.
Like, it's in miles. And I know they have
are different.
A lot of them now have the electronic dashes where you can change from kilometers, and there's usually the smaller numbers there. But I still don't like it.
I just don't like
and I don't
driving
know the rules. I don't know anything about. We don't have tolls. I don't like any of that stuff.
Tolls. I mean, the tolls we didn't have to worry about too much because it's like the rental card will probably get billed somehow.
I can't remember if they had it, but I know when we drove to Baltimore that one time, it was just tolls everywhere. It was so stressful.
I don't even think we got that bill.
Yeah, I don't know.
It probably takes them like a year to send it. So, yeah. But that's the other thing too, is don't be like Ryan. Don't just like give up and like be sad. Like do some calling, do some asking around, get creative.
There's a way.
There is always a way. That is one thing I've learned in my job, is if you might have to throw some money at the problem, but like $150 for a rental car is way better than missing your cruise and losing thousands of dollars. So
yeah, this could also be a pitch for travel insurance, that sort of thing.
Or a travel agent.
Yeah, I believe we have travel insurance on our credit cards. I think we're pretty well covered there, but you still miss the vacation, which is the crappy part.
That is the worst part. Like I care less about, well, no, I'm still mad about being at the money, but I've taken the days off work. I was like, I am going on this vacation no matter what.
And then the last time was our own doing, because as experienced as we are now, done 23 cruises, we still flew in on the day of the cruise this one time.
I don't know why.
It was the only thing without being extremely price gouged.
Right.
But we made it.
By some miracle?
By about an hour, we made it to the cruise ship, and that was still stressful because you're at the airport, you're like, please don't get canceled or delayed or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was on the Margaritaville.
Yeah, because we had to fly into a different port. We were flying into West Palm Beach.
Yeah, that was different.
And it was hard to get there from here.
Yeah, it was.
We actually had to fly into Toronto, stay overnight at the airport, and then fly the day of the cruise. So I guess we left the day
before, but
technically
we were in Toronto overnight, yeah.
But we did fly from Toronto. So if anything happened in Toronto, which if you've ever stopped in Toronto or flown from Toronto, it's like almost a guarantee that something will go wrong. So that was very risky. Okay,
mistake number 4. I feel like this one is usually my fault. And I frequently make this mistake. As you know, I was saying, I get excited when I'm on the cruise. I like to live my best life. And spending too much on board.
I was going to say the casino.
Have you ever looked at your receipt at the end of a cruise and gone, what the heck did I just buy?
Not me.
I think our biggest bill was recent, actually, on the Norwegian Aqua.
Yeah, we went a little... Well, we just bought things we normally don't. Like we tried the thermal suite, which we've never done. And that was like $200 for the both of us. And then you bought a ship model, and you bought me like Starbucks every day, which was expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it added up, but it added up to
gratuities too. That's why.
It added up to probably 2,000 or 3,000, which is just
insane.
Like almost more than the cruise. That one's a new ship, but like maybe more than the average cruise. So
the hell did we buy?
Exactly. So it's spending money on things like Kayla mentioned, the spa, the Wi-Fi, the drinks, the casino,
the Wi-Fi.
That sort of thing. Now on this cruise, we're talking about actually one at the casino, but I think for a lot of people, it can surprise them if they're not paying attention to their balance.
Especially those gratuities. I think it was like $40 a day for both of us.
That is probably my biggest tip to save your bill ahead of time. My
prepaid
mentality towards prepaid gratuities is, why would I give them my money ahead of time if it's the same result? But the result is
you have to pay it at the end, and you're like, oh,
the
crap.
budgeting. Yeah. You're not getting super shocked because gratuities are just going up and up. And I, quite frankly, this could be a whole nother video, but I think they're quite ridiculous. And we actually got exposed to something about how the gratuities we're putting on the receipts for Norwegian weren't actually going to the staff members.
I've never been so enraged.
We need to have an investigative journalist look into the gratuities and tell us are we being scammed?
Yeah.
It certainly feels that way, and I think I'm not alone in that.
A lot of people now are removing them.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going and removing their gratuities, which I would never say to do, because when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, these people's rely on this money, right? But now that I found out that it's like, oh, well, if John is your server and you give John $10 on that little receipt, well, John apparently doesn't get that money. It goes somewhere and then gets filtered down between a bunch of people.
And we're getting sidetracked, but I remember there's a new Virgin policy about the tips, and then we were watching a YouTube video and he asked well, if I buy the basic package without gratuities and I have to pay them. And then if I buy the other package, for example, does the salary of the staff change based on how many people are buying the basic versus
like they should be paying their staff, not us.
So who's that money going to? We're just subsidizing the wages, which we can't even confirm if it's going there.
I know. But, so I think our tip for that would be to bring cash and put that money in the hand of the person who you want it to go to. And what a lot of people have messaged us about is they're saying, I'm going and I'm removing all the gratuities and I'm going to the people and I'm handing them cash because I want to know that my money is going to X person and Y person.
I really enjoy the discussion around gratuities, I think, because a lot of people are like, well, you're missing out on the people who are doing the laundry and stuff. But
they're very important. Like, I think.
And they are. But at the same time,
the cruise ship should be paying them.
Customer facing. So maybe it's one of those things where they shouldn't get tips. But then you think about, okay, well, at a restaurant, they do tip out and everybody gets a piece of the pie. So that's kind of the same system. So anyway, there's a lot to think about there. So
I think these cruise ships are making billions and billions of dollars and they should be able to pay other people.
Like, we actually tip very well, way more than probably most, but and I don't mind doing it. I just want to know that I'm not
going
being
to
scammed.
them. Yeah. Like every day at the coffee place, I give the girl like $1 or $2 on my coffee every morning. I want to make sure she gets it because she remembers my name. She remembers my order. Like they're always very pleasant. Like I just want to make sure that the money that I'm giving to them goes to them, which doesn't seem like I'm asking for a lot. Anyways, we went off on a huge tangent there.
Yeah, so going back on our tips on how to avoid them, if you're going to pay your gratuities, I would prepay them. It helps, especially if you have like a group of 4 or even more. And then what I would do is I would every day or every second day go into your app, make sure it's all on the up and up, and make sure you're aware of how much you're spending. Yeah.
You can check it from your app. Sometimes they have it where you can check it on your TV. You can pull up your account. Just make sure that all the charges are things that you've actually done. And you can kind of catch yourself being like, oh, wow, I've been spending a lot more than I thought. And you can stop before it gets a little out of control and you're looking at a $2,000 bill.
Yeah. Another way to do it is to just bring cash and apply it against your account and just spend that money. And then you're just like, oh, I'm out of money. That's it. Yeah. So it's a good way to manage it. I should probably take my own advice on some of these things, but
especially at the casino
sometimes.
Because on Norwegian, Ryan won all this money and he was so excited. And I was like, woohoo, like put that towards our bill. And then, went and lost it all. So,
well, I lost it on a different cruise. So, it's still a win.
Sure.
Okay. On to mistake number 5. Now this is our last biggest mistake. I do have one bonus one and a bunch of really small ones that I thought were worth mentioning because they happen so frequently, not with us in particular, but just in general. But one that did happen with us was booking excursions not with the cruise line. Now that itself isn't a mistake, but the mistakes come along with it.
They can, at least. Because there's been times when we've booked excursions not through the ship very specifically because like even at the 27 Falls, we booked Dominican. We didn't book it through Carnival because they don't let you jump from the cliffs, which, honestly, I was scared shitless. So maybe I should have booked through the cruise. But yeah, you can have money savings, you can have a better experience, but you can also miss your ship.
Yeah. Well, back to the Dominican one, we actually showed up. I put the deposit down online and gave my credit card number. And then when we got there, I just assumed they were going to charge my credit card number, but no, we had to pay cash when we got there.
And we don't usually carry
especially
cash.
As Canadians, we just have like cash for cabs and that sort of thing. Like, and they didn't take Canadian cash. So luckily,
I don't know how. Someone was looking out for us that day.
Had the cash and it was the rest of our cash.
Yeah, literally to the penny. Like, I don't think we had a single dollar left over.
I mean, the worst case would have been trying to go back into the port area and trying to find some cash or something, but the excursion would have left, so we would have missed it. And then the other one we made that was really big with excursions was in Santorini.
Because we didn't book through the cruise line.
Yeah, I don't know if I call it an excursion, but we booked the wine tasting with at Santos.
I booked it through the restaurant because you can't book it any other way. Like you can't book it through the cruise ship.
But the mistake was about factoring in the tenders.
I hate tenders.
And how long it would take to get up and down from Santorini. And
just off the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we ended, and I tell this to anybody who reaches out to us about going to the Med or Greece, especially Santorini, is I know the ship excursions are expensive and they sell out really fast, but if you can get the ship excursion to Santorini, do it, because you'll get priority disembarkation on those stupid tenders. But Ryan and I spent half the day just waiting for our tender boat. Mm-hmm. So we wasted half the day in Santorini, you know, messing around on the ship playing shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Because we were on, I was going to say lifeboat, tender boat, like 45.
Yeah.
So we missed half the day. And then the line by the time we got off was insane. The heat when we got off the sun was just beaming right down on you. So we had to get creative, because I'm not standing there for an hour and a half to get on this little zip line thing that brings you up. So we took the speedboat over. We figured it out. But I ended up having to, again, turn on my phone, make an international call, change our reservation for Santos so we didn't miss it. And so I don't like having to do that.
Yeah. So I think with booking not with the cruise line, one, you want to make sure you're going to have enough time. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to read the fine print, mm-hmm. how you're going to pay, where you're going to meet. Are you going to have enough time to get there and back? All that sort of research is done on your own. Whereas when you book with the cruise line, that's all covered for you. You just kind of book it, and then you just kind of follow the signs, and you're good to go.
Right. It's like if you book it through the cruise, it's like you're probably guaranteed to be on the first 12 tenders.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go downstairs and get a ticket. And like getting a ticket was the most insane thing I've ever seen. People were lined up, even though they said expressly, do not line up and block the ship. People were lined up from the dining room all the way down. Like, it was wild.
Yeah. I'm speaking more generally, like not just about Santorini. Like, I just think in general, just look at how much time that you're going to have. And then if you want to book the cruise line, just do your own research there and just make sure that you're going to make it, watch YouTube videos, that kind of thing. Okay, this is a bonus one. Mistake number 6. We did make this mistake.
Oh, we did?
On the last cruise.
What is that?
Transportation to and from the airport.
Ooh, yes. I think this one was my...
You saved us again.
Yeah.
And it was probably my fault.
No, it wasn't anyone's fault. This is just what happens sometimes when there's more than one ship in port and they're all coming back and everyone's getting off at the same time. Everyone's calling an Uber. Everyone's going on the Cocoa Beach shuttle, back to the airport.
I said to and from the airport. I guess I meant to the cruise port and then back to the airport. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when we got off Carnival Glory, there was this huge lineup outside, and I was like, what's everyone lined up for? And it was the Cocoa Beach shuttle, and people were waiting up to 2 hours to get on a shuttle. So I was like, well, that's crazy. Thank God we're taking an Uber. Yeah. Fast forward 10 seconds when I Uber my Uber app, and it's like 10 times the fare. Yeah. $300 and like 20-minute wait or something.
Yeah. 30-minute wait. And the problem with that was we had got off at what?
9:30, 10 o'clock, like,
and then our flight was like, let's say, I think it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock ish. So we wanted to be at the airport at like 11:30 maybe.
Yeah, because we're flying internationally.
Anyway, so we got to this point where we didn't have a choice. It's like pay the $300
or miss our flight,
or miss the flight. So what ended up happening is Kayla just kind of went around.
Well, I was
looking for people to drive us.
So I was just kind of standing there and I was watching people get dropped off. And this lady pulls up in a car and we kind of make eye contact as she's pulling up. So she looks at me, I look at her. She drops off the people she helps them get their bags. We make eye contact again. So I'm kind of looking at her like, you gonna be able to like pick us up or something? Like, are you with Uber or like, are you just looking to make some money? So we keep making eye contact every couple seconds. And then after her people leave, I'm looking at her and she's looking at me and she was like, do you need a ride? And I was like, yes. So we like ran over and I was like, we can give you cash, like if you take us to the airport. And she was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, we don't have any cash. So can you take me to an ATM first and then I'll give you money and whatever. So anyway, she drove us to an ATM, picked out some cash. We ended up getting our ride for like $80 instead of $300 US. So yeah, make eye contact awkwardly with people.
But we got lucky there. But I think the lesson learned here is if you don't want that to be a risk at all,
pre-book
your shuttle, your car service, whatever you want to do, however you want to get there. you can just take that out of the equation in terms of things that could go wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes it can be a little bit more expensive to book a car service like that. Like for my boss and stuff at work, like I book Black Lane all the time because it's super reliable. It's very professional. It's like a nice car. It's like a good service. Like they'll have a sign with your name on it. You have to worry about nothing. But it'll cost, depending on how far you're going, like between, $100 and $200.
Yeah.
But
I think like the shuttles are normally pretty good. They're more expensive than an Uber, but not by much. Maybe like $20 to $40 more than what you'd pay with an Uber generally. I think like Uber is going to be cheaper, but there's that risk factor.
Yeah, because we've never had an issue before. This was our first time where we were like, oh God, $300? Like, and we couldn't get one. Like we waited and waited and waited and waited. We were going to bite the bullet and pay. And that, like,
at one point we
cry
actually
about
did send the confirmation.
You did.
And then
it just spun around and around, and this guy never moved.
Accepted the ride or whatever. But yeah, we couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so those are definitely things to think about, is pre-book, have a plan B, have a plan C.
Okay, moving on to the side notes. These are ones we've probably personally witnessed. And the first one is, what cruise was that where it was like day 4, we're sitting at the dining room table, there's like a group of 6, we got a shared table.
Enchantment. Because that's the last time we've shared a big table.
The guy at the table just happens to mention his like signal is bad or whatever.
Oh, the Wi-Fi guy.
And I asked him if I'd offered to help him with the Wi-Fi, and he was on data.
He had never put his phone on airplane mode. Oh, he got a text message saying that his bill was like $100
it was
in
a text
charges.
message from the phone company. That's what it was.
I was like, oh no, you never turned your phone on airplane mode. And he was like, well, I don't know how.
And by day 4, that's gonna hurt.
Yes. Making sure to make sure your phone is on airplane mode. Even if you have a data package through like Airlo or anything like that, it doesn't work when you're like out at sea.
Yeah. They have those new like cruise eSIMs that we'll have to give a shot. But the Airlo we use when we're on land. But for any of you guys who like, we turn our airplane mode on when we enter the United States. But for you guys in the States already, it's an easy forget, I think.
And as soon as that boat pulls away and you're out in the international waters, it's going to connect to like the ship's
antenna uses, yeah.
And it's very expensive. And I've seen and heard of people having hundreds and thousands of dollars of bills for roaming.
Maybe not hundreds of thousands.
No, but hundreds or thousands. Sorry. Or thousands, hundreds/thousands.
Yeah. And
that would be, I would be so upset because like it's the smallest thing to remember to turn on your phone onto airplane mode.
The next couple of ones that we have, they have happened to us as well. They are getting items confiscated.
Yes.
We've had power bars, steamers. That's probably it.
Have I ever had a steamer? I don't think I've ever had a steamer taken away.
Okay.
They put a thing on my bag that it said steamer.
Yeah. I had my drone confiscated one time. And yeah, that's about it. But either way, it's not like a terrible experience. It's more of an inconvenience on day 1 because you just go down to the room and they say
the naughty room.
You weren't allowed to bring this. We're going to hang on to it until the cruise is over, basically. So
the power bar was kind of a new thing too. Like we used to bring power bars all the time, and that seems to be like a new thing. They don't.
I just changed my power bar to more of like a USB extension thing.
Yeah, and they don't seem to have a problem with those.
I think that one's fine.
And the other thing is, I've noticed if you bring like not a power bar per se, but like one of those USB things, like a plug that has extra plugs on it, as long as you unplug it when you're not in your room, like it shouldn't be an issue because you're not leaving anything unattended, right?
Yeah. So our tip with that is just to
look at what's allowed.
Take a look at what's banned. A lot of people have brought on a lot worse. So my advice to you is just to take a look for that specific cruise line because it does vary. Cruise line.
Don't bring a steamer. Don't bring an iron. Like they're going to take it away from you. And then you're going to have to waste time when you get off the ship to go down to security and retrieve your items. I think most people just don't. They probably just leave it there. And they have just this room full of steamers.
And the next one, kind of obvious that it can be a problem, is sunburns. Now, I like to bring a UV protected shirt to like once... If I get sunburned, that is my protection mechanism. But yeah, just make sure you have a lot of sunscreen. Day one, I find in particular, like I'm at the heaviest risk for sunburn. So I like extra lather up on those days. And it's hard not to, be in the sun all day. Like I said, you're excited. You want to be in the pool and doing stuff. But yeah. So if you're going to be out there all day, put one of those UV shirts on. That's what I'd say would be the best.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in and out of the water, it comes off all the time.
I also think that getting the spray sunscreen is the biggest scam, because I watch people put it on all the time and they're spraying it and it's literally going downwind, not even reaching their body. So they're just spraying it and it's just right down, like totally missing their body. So they think they're sunscreened and they're absolutely not.
This next one is probably my favorite tip.
Oh.
And it is something I see all the time as well. And it's sweating the small stuff.
Yeah. People get upset about a lot.
So many things.
Little things.
Things will go wrong on your cruise.
Of course.
Don't let it ruin your cruise. And some of the things are very small. And I understand maybe you haven't been on vacation for a couple of years. You want a perfect experience. But, things are going to go wrong. And you just kind of have to roll with it. And
I'm just thinking of that guy. What cruise were we on? It was like day one and he was like, so far I'm not impressed. And I was like, dude, you've been on for like an hour. How are you upset already?
Nothing bothers me more when I see somebody yelling at the staff.
Oh yeah.
It's like, dude,
these people are busting their ass.
Give him a break. He works 365 days a year.
Yeah. I've seen like people get mad, and I can understand, like, especially if you're paying a higher price for like a suite or something, you have all these expectations and it might not like live up to what you were thinking, and I could see you being a little disappointed. But yeah, and I feel like sometimes I wonder, because when we go places and we're like, oh, this was great, the food was great, the drinks were great, and we had a great time, like I feel like, are we too easygoing?
We are pretty easygoing. I think we're easy to please, but that's okay. I like that.
I mean, I like that.
And if you find yourself getting, something didn't go your way, just take a beat. I do this thing, you could say it's silly or whatever, but I like doing it. I always say 3 things I'm grateful for. So
Ryan also says too, a lot of the time, like cruising or like just vacations it's what you make it.
Yeah.
So if you're going in with a shit attitude, then like you're going to have a shitty time.
Like, don't worry about what you can't control. I have that basically tattooed on my chest. It's just, what you can't control is your attitude towards the situation, and find something else. And
at the end of the day, you're on vacation.
Don't let it ruin your day.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine. Like, I remember one time someone was like mad about food selection or something in the buffet or whatever, and I just remember thinking, like, this person's going on a rant for like 20 minutes about food, and I'm like, you've just ruined your entire night just sulking about, like, there's 1,000 places you can eat on a cruise ship. Go somewhere else.
Okay, that's good for that one. My next one is like, I wouldn't say it's like a mistake, but it's more of a preference that I think people should be aware of, is doing the check-in time at the earliest possible time. Like, now, when I say earliest possible time, pick whatever time you want, but do it as soon as it becomes open to you to do it at that time. Now, for me, like we
want to be the first ones on.
Yeah, I want to be the very first, and I'm gonna get there even earlier.
Yeah,
like I want to wait there for when it opens up. So knowing that, I actually, let me know if I'm alone on this, because I feel like it's a little next level, but I will wait till midnight of the day of the check-in and check in for us at the earliest possible time. Now, I could probably get the same time in the morning, but I just want to make sure that we get the time we want. But one time, what happened to us, we didn't get on till about it must have been like 3:45. I was actually kind of mad about it. You know where it was? It was the Jubilee in Galveston. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck, 3:45?
Yeah.
And I was like, the day's over.
Yeah. That's exactly it. As we're flying in the night before, we're getting up at the crack of dawn, cabbing to the cruise port. We're all excited, and then it's like 3:45.
I think the earliest for
all
that
aboard
one,
is like 4.
The earliest for that one was like 2:00.
Yeah, it was
for
weird.
whatever reason.
I can't remember why.
Anyway, we'd missed getting the first couple times, like 2:33. Anyway, we got like 3:45, and I wasn't happy.
No, I think we ended up spending a little bit more time in like the port of Galveston, like walking around and like doing stuff. But I mean, when you've got your suitcase with you, it sucks. The other thing I remember too about booking those times is when we did Med, the time opened in a different, it wasn't like Eastern time.
Oh yeah. It opened like 6 hours ahead or in Italy time.
Yeah, it opened in the Rome time.
Yeah, so that one threw me off.
What was it? Where did we pour it out of? Ravenna.
Ravenna.
So I remember seeing, and this is another big tip I can say, is join the Facebook group for your cruise.
Yes, so that is a great tip.
They know everything, okay? Like, these people are sharks and they know all the information, and it's so great.
The second, like, something news related comes with that cruise line, it's in the Facebook group.
Yeah. So you like, and sometimes they'll ask a question of something that's happening on the ship, and you're like, oh, this is happening. They're like, oh, did anyone see this? Or anyways, join the Facebook group for your cruise, because the night before, I don't even remember what I was doing. I just happened to see a notification. I opened it up.
This was for the Royal Railway.
That
you did this for the railway.
Mm-hmm. So for the Med one, they had told us like, oh, by the way, it's open because it's in like Italy time, not, US standard time. So we went on and got a good time. And then for the Royal Railway, someone found a hack. They were able to go and book the railway before it opened.
Yeah, you just like changed the hyperlink and it opened up the booking, and we were able to do it. And we found that through the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And like when that initially came out, I don't know what it's like now, but it was insanely hard to get.
It was. The other thing that helped us was on Enchantment of the Seas. That's an older Royal Caribbean ship, and there was like some sewage smell issues on that cruise. And someone posted in the Facebook group that, they were, if you called and asked, you were given like 25%
onboard credit.
Not onboard credit.
Sorry, future cruise credit.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have known that otherwise. Mm-hmm. So it's just really helpful, and people know a lot of things, and sometimes there's little gossips and drama. And stuff
yeah,
you can
there's
follow on
little
the
gossip
Facebook
going
groups.
on like during the cruise. It's so funny. Did anybody hear that guy? Like, it's so funny.
But sometimes people share really great pictures too. Like if they're in port and they're doing something really cool, and they'll be like, "Look at this amazing like photo that I got," and I'm like, "Oh, it's gorgeous." Mm-hmm. So yeah, the Facebook group is definitely like a secret little hack you should definitely do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the last one kind of ties in. I think we basically just covered it, but pre-booking items on the cruise liner, do it
when you can,
as soon as possible, in my opinion. Even since those are so easily refundable. So if you decide you don't want to do it anymore, it is really not a big deal. I've never had a problem getting my money back from any of the cruise lines with pre-booked excursions.
Yeah. The other tip about
or like Wi-Fi or spa package, whatever you want to buy. But I have never had any problem getting my money back.
No. The other big tip I can think about with pre-booking is, especially on ships like the mega ships with Royal Caribbean, you can't pre-book your like aqua show or any of those activities until you're physically on the ship's Wi-Fi. And a lot of people will wait till they're on board to do it. But a hack is, if you get to your security, you get through everything, and you're sitting in like that little waiting area, if you get close enough to a window where the ship is close by, sometimes you can get like a bar of ship Wi-Fi.
And we actually did this on Utopia, but I'm kind of trying to figure out how, because it's Carnival that asks you for the folio number. But Royal, it's just your
normal, just be on ship
you
Wi-Fi.
Just create a login. So some cruise lines it's possible, some it's not. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can always find me at the nearby window, like trying to get some signal.
There was like 19 of us. People were like, "What are you guys doing?" I was like, "We're booking our aqua show," and they're like, "You can get Wi-Fi," and then everyone piled over. Yeah. But yeah, because if you wait till you're on board, like you're going to be SOL. Like those shows book quick. Mm-hmm. So as soon as you're in range of that ship, see if you can jump on the Wi-Fi. Book us. That I think that's mostly for Royal Caribbean, maybe Celebrity.
So those were our 5 biggest mistakes, plus all the bonus mistakes. We have so much more that we're going to share with you, but it would have been too much for the video. But we would love to know what your biggest mistakes you've made while cruising are. What'd you guys like do about it? What happened? Feel free to share the story down below in the comments. We really appreciate it and love chatting with you about it. But you can also follow us on Instagram at Ryan and Kayla for all the live stories and direct messaging, as you know. And as Kayla mentioned before, you can join our membership by clicking join or checking out the description. You can see the videos before anyone else and get some fun emojis and get like a little label next to your name and that sort of thing.
Much love to all our current family. We love you.
And if you've been following along, you know that our Norwegian Aqua Cruise is currently still coming out. And then we have the Carnival Glory Cruise. And this winter, we are doing the Celebrity Excel over New Year's side by side with the Wonder of the Seas. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure to follow along.
And January on Wonder of the Seas, we're going to be hitting up the Nassau
Royal Beach Club,
which is brand new. It's going to be out for like days when we get there. So if you're interested, that's when you're going to want to follow along.
So that's it for episode 3. We hope you enjoyed it. We're thinking maybe our next one could be about our booking process and how we select a cruise, but we're not too sure on that. Feel free to drop a comment of any suggestions below of topics you'd like us to go over.
I actually did
we
put
have
a
a lot
PSA
of ideas
on our Instagram today. I was like, if you have any topics you want us to ship talk about, let us know. So feel free to drop it in our Instagram. Feel free to drop it here.
But just remember to not take anything we said too seriously, because just at the end of the day, we're
just ship talking.